Hey there! Welcome to Product Marketing Maestros, Tales from the Front Lines. I'm your host, Nitin Karthik. As Director of Product Marketing, I've always found that real-world case studies are truly the litmus test when it comes to measuring the effectiveness of any product marketing strategy. And that is why, in this show, we dive into the minds of industry titans, as well as rising stars, unpacking their expertise in action-packed 15-minute episodes. And we showcase the power of product marketing through real world case studies. And today, my friends, we are joined by none other than product marketing maestro Yilin Pei, who is founder of Courageous Careers. Yilin is a career coach for product marketers, just like you. She is a top 100 product marketing influencer, a three times startup PMM leader, a five times marketer, a fractional product marketing advisor as well, and she is a graduate of a Berkeley MBA program. Yilin started her career in transportation engineering, and she pivoted to tech marketing. And she quickly rose after doing this in 2016, pushing past rejection after rejection in order to secure her first role at Autodesk. And then she rose to become a director of product marketing within 3 years, which is quite remarkable. Yelin's mission is to empower individuals from diverse backgrounds to boldly go after their dream career in product marketing and thrive as a new leader. To date, Yilin has helped over 100 PMMs achieve their goals at companies such as LinkedIn, Uber, Webflow, and many more. If you, my friends, are interested in her personalized guidance, you can check her out at her new website, courageous-careers.com. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Yilin Pei. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. What a great honor to be here, and what a wonderful introduction. It's so great to meet with you here, Nitin.
Absolutely. And, Yilin, it's amazing. Your career, I think, is a lesson to a lot of people in the audience who may be looking to pivot, right? Not all of us started off in product marketing. We may have started in different directions, and we're looking to pivot. So I think this is so inspirational. So with that, Yilin, let's dive into the show. We promised our audience that we're going to give them actionable insights. So we're going to use the STAR framework, which is the situation, the targets, the actions, and the results. So with that, Yilin, why don't you pick a situation from your vast experience? As you mentioned, you've helped over 100 PMMs. Pick a situation and tell us a little bit about that situation.
Absolutely. So, what you mentioned earlier about people wanting to pivot into product marketing, I think that's really a key point in what I do, because I think product marketing is all the better because it's so diverse, right? We have people from all different backgrounds coming into product marketing. So with that said, one of the sort of core things I help people on is to land a job in product marketing. And as you know, the job market last year was pretty terrible. We have over 250,000 people, unfortunately, who are laid off in tech. Many of them are product marketers. And this happened to one of my clients who was unfortunately laid off in the beginning part of November last year from his head of marketing position. And when he reached out to me, he was struggling to land an offer. He applied to tons of different companies and even got through to some interviews, but he never got the offer. And that's a really frustrating experience if you think about it, because he has experience, right? A lot of people. So why is experience and competency not letting him land the offer he wants? So that's basically the situation for the story I'm telling today.
Yeah, and it's I think very personal for many people. Last year, 2023, like you mentioned, was a very difficult year. So many layoffs in tech. And what's interesting, Yilin, is it looks like this year it's again starting with a couple of layoffs. A number of companies are again laying off. So just when we thought that we were out of the woods, it looks like now we're getting back, and it's like a repeat. Hopefully, maybe it's not as bad and painful as 2023. Wonderful. So we've talked about the situation, and I think a lot of our audience can relate to that. So thank you. Next, Yilin, let's talk about the targets. What kind of targets and what were you trying to help your clients with?
Yeah, so the short answer to that is getting him a job as soon as possible, right? And I think that's the goal of many job seekers in today's market, especially people who have been laid off for extended periods of time, is I want a job right now, right? Basically. So while that's a really important goal to achieve, I always talk to my clients and we decide on a framework that's going to be really realistic to help them get the goal. If you think about it, the higher you go, right, in the rank of product marketing, like if you're director level or even higher, right, the longer it takes for you to land a job because there are fewer jobs and it's more competitive. So I want to be realistic. And the first step to do is to actually analyze his background. So we met together did some intake exercises so that we can assess his candidate market fit. And I think this is such an important concept because just like product marketing, when you're doing job search, you also have to find your fit, right? So you're moving from product market fit to candidate market fit. And specifically what this means is understanding what companies are you the best fit at, where you're going to have competitive advantages that's going to stand out from other candidates, right? And a big misconception for people is that I just have to be good enough to get a job. But in today's market, you can't just be good enough. You have to be the best, right? And not just good enough. So when we started doing that, we realized he should focus on early stage startups in construction technology, which is actually a field he really likes. And then from there, right, we started revamping his entire story, resume, and aligned his job search process to finding that specific target.
Wow. And the way that you illustrated this, I think, is very insightful for our audience because this exercise, Yilin, is really a microcosm in product marketing. Okay. In product marketing, we have to do our market research. We have to find our ideal customer profile. You mentioned startups in construction technology. So that was kind of his ideal customer profile. You talked about how it's not just about being good enough. How do you differentiate? So it's like competitive differentiation. So these are all like fundamental concepts in product marketing. I'm so excited. So these are great. So awesome. We've talked about the situation. We've talked about the targets. Now tell us, Yilin, how did the situation and the targets guide your actions to help your client?
Absolutely. So now we know exactly what we're looking for. So we decided we're going to help him get a job ASAP, right? Within a 3 to 6 month time period based on his level. And for early stage startups in construction tech, likely him being the founding PMM. So that was very precise targeting. So next step is to help him build that profile, his personal story, but also focus on outreach. So this is where another point that I also want to bring up, which is how do you outreach, right? It's not just about applying online. So even if you have the best resume, the best cover letter, the most amazing LinkedIn profile, when there are 1,000 people applying for a job, right? Even the best profile can just get buried. So my main recommendation here is to try as much as possible to bypass that queue, right? That giant pile of applications. And how do you do that is you have to do cold outreach. If you don't know anybody in the company, who can you find in the company to pay attention to you, right? And that means reaching out smartly to the hiring manager as well as other peers in the company to try to get them to notice you, reply back to you, and secure your first round interview. And that is exactly what we did. And he found a really good job within a couple of weeks from working together. He used the exact same method to update his resume to align with his competitive advantages. Then he actually found the emails of the recruiter and sent a really value-added message to the recruiter. One day, heard back from this company and he secured the first interview for this company. So that's the first part, right, of landing that interview. And then moving on from there, okay, you got the interview. You got to seize the opportunity, right, to actually do the interview really well. And part of doing interview really well is spend 80% of your time preparing for it, right? So just like anything in life, it's more about preparation rather than just like winging it in the interview process. So we spent a ton of time analyzing every interviewer's background, anticipating the type of questions that they have, and then use structured approach to answer every single one of them. So it's interesting because we're using a STAR framework here. So I actually have built a separate and similar framework called PSAR. It's called the Process, Situation, Action, and Results Framework, specifically for answering product marketing questions that basically allows you to really create structured answers and also show systems level thinking. And then he did that with me one-on-one and also practiced his interview responses in my group coaching workshops, which really helped him in confidence in his answers. So now comes the last part, right? So as you know, probably Nitin, there's this dreaded stage called the assignment stage, right? Like everybody has to go through assignments. And unfortunately, a lot of people think this is a step where you just check off the box, right? It's like, I've done the assignment and answered the prompts. So of course, like I did my job. But this is actually an opportunity to stand out from the process and really shine because it's really complicated to do this. So if you do it really, really well, you're almost guaranteed, right, to get the job. So my role as a coach obviously is not to do the assignments for my clients, right? Like that's not my goal, but my goal is to really help them enhance it and take it to the next level. Is because they already know a lot of things, right? But how can they tell the story better and how can they connect the dots better? So when I reviewed his assignment, I realized he has some amazing and brilliant ideas, but he wasn't really telling the why behind it. Why is this idea better than another idea, right? What's the linkage between this part of the process to the positioning? And why is this the way to position? And how would you test the positioning to know that it's right? So we need to get behind the whys, and that significantly took his assignment to the next level. And he blew the assignment like he blew it out of water. And after the presentation, I believe he got a reply back within 30 minutes where they told him that was by far the best assignment they've ever seen, and the rest is history, basically. So from there, he was able to get an offer.
Wow. Did I hear that correct? Within 30 minutes of the interview, he got basically the acceptance?
He got reply to say his assignment was one of the best, and he didn't
Oh, wow.
it wasn't the offer yet, but that was already indication enough, right? There were some other steps after that, which I didn't go through in more detail, like meeting with the CEO and things like that. But generally, when you pass the assignment stage and you've gone through the hiring manager and all that, you're pretty much you pretty much know, like you're in the top 2, right? Or something like that. So the goal at that point, really make sure you nail the C-suite interview. In interest of time, this is time for another day. We can talk about C-suite interviews all day long. But generally, once you pass that, the C-suite is doing a final check, right? Like a sanity check to make sure they're making the right hiring decisions.
Wow. Fabulous. In fact, we covered so many topics there when you describe the actions. I'm just thinking about the parallels with product marketing.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do our research. We have to do preparation. And a lot of us know that victory loves preparation. So the more prepared we are in whatever kind of product marketing that we do, whether it is career hunting or other, hunting for customers, the more preparation we do, the better we perform. So that is fabulous. And it sounds like your results are almost, you kind of covered it. But now let's formally talk about the results. So the response the candidate got like within half an hour that they did the kind of the best job among all the other candidates. So now let's talk about the real business end of this. So Yilin, bring it home. Tell us what results were you able to achieve for the client?
Yeah, so he was able to get the job basically right after the CEO round interview, and from the day we started working together to when he landed a job was exactly 2 months. So that was definitely way less than the 6 months that we talked about. And the reason why I say these timelines, and I think is really important, is that you do want to give yourself more time to find a job, right? What I've observed is a lot of candidates, they're like, I need a job ASAP, and they work really, really hard to get a job in like 1 month or 2 months, and then they feel like they're not making as much progress. They panic. They actually start not following the right process, and they start this vicious loop of like randomly applying everywhere, right, in order to meet that timeline. So in order to not cause panic for yourself, actually it's better to give yourself more time to do the right things that's going to yield results, and then you actually save more time, right, to get the job faster. So it's counterintuitive, but it's exactly what you said, Tin, which is preparation, right? Up front, investing more time in that, following the right process, and then of course you're going to get the better results at the end. I think the other point I want to make as my last point is for anyone out there on the job market, currently job searching, my biggest suggestion for you is definitely to take a step back. Map out your candidate market fit from the beginning, target fewer roles instead of spreading yourself so thin across many, many different roles, right? That will help you get more conversion rates and see results faster. And then the second part of that is find a group to support you mentally, whether it's your friends group, whether it's a dedicated job search group like the one I run, right? Just as long as you're in a very good group that's going to provide you that support, it's really going to go a long way. Because no matter how well you do along the process, there will be moments when you are just not feeling that awesome about yourself, right? So that's why community is important. And with that, I will, stop here.
Wow, wow. I mean, there is so much. It looks like, Yilin, I think what we successfully did is we packed like 10 pounds of information into a 5-pound bag. This is amazing. I'm sure that a lot of our audience will have a lot of follow-up questions for you. So with that, where can the audience who want to learn more, where can they connect with you? Where can they find you? Tell us more about that, Yilin.
Absolutely. So I think the best place to start is just follow me on LinkedIn. You can just type in my name, Yilin Pei. You find me there. I post content every week on LinkedIn. And if you have questions, you can just write me a quick note, DM me, and I'll reply to pretty much every single message. If you want to learn more about how to work with me, you can definitely go to my website, courageous-careers.com. And I hope to see you there.
Wonderful. Awesome. So I recommend everybody, whether you're looking for a job or not, definitely reach out to Yilin and just get some advice. You may even pick up a lot of advice that you can apply in your current job, because again, of the parallels between product marketing and a lot of what Yilin is doing. So fabulous. So Yilin, thank you so much. It's been an absolute blast. And with that, my friends, let's make the magic happen.